This podcast was recorded on the traditional lands of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the sovereignty of which was never ceded. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all First Nations people.
Poster Boys. Wow.
Welcome to Poster Boys.
I'm Harry.
I'm Stacey.
And this is famously the podcast where we're watching every single film that Robert Pattinson has ever been in.
From start to finish. Regardless of how big his role was, really.
Regardless of if it's good or not.
Yeah. Regardless of whether you've seen the previous
entries in the series. Yeah, Harry Potter's going to be interesting. Regardless of if you are able to find it legally or not.
What format did this come out, by the way? Are we talking VHS?
I think I found
DVD?
I think DVD. I think it came out as like a split disc DVD.
Not the split disc.
The split disc.
I had Titanic on a split disc.
Was Robert Pattinson in that one?
Not that
I don't
version.
care. I'm not interested.
Next series.
Get it away from me. For context, what we're talking about is Robert Pattinson's feature film debut, his acting debut, The Ring of the Nibelungs.
Also known as the Dark Kingdom : the Dragon King. Also known as Curse of the Nibelungs. Also known as The Sword of Xanten. It has a lot of titles. It was hard to find. Was this a different title? You know how different book covers are based on the country that they come out in?
Yeah.
Is this like that? Or they just couldn't decide, so they threw them all in there and did a potluck?
I have to imagine it's for different markets. They were like, well, the UK isn't going to watch Curse of the Nibelungs.
No.
But they'll love
Dragon.
The Dragon's colon.
Yeah.
You know it's good when there's a colon involved.
Semantics are so important right now.
So should we unpack the storyline?
Unpack it. Tell me. I have no idea. First of all, when did this come out?
2004.
2004.
I was 9 years old.
Me too.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Young blacksmith Siegfried, not knowing that he is heir to a conquered kingdom, becomes popular with the Bergens by slaying their bane, the dragon Fafnir. A lot of those aren't words.
No.
When the reward seems to be a huge treasure.
Seems to be.
When the reward is allegedly a huge treasure, Siegfried ignores the curse that lies on the hoard, which now seems to endanger his love for beautiful Norse warrior queen Brunhild.
Oh, of course there is.
It seems to.
Yeah, and there has to be the love interest.
Yeah.
The conflicts between the alleged treasure and the alleged woman.
And to be fair, I already knew this. It is like based on like a famous Germanic myth. It's like like the basis of like the Lord of the Rings, sort of. Also the basis for like one of the most famous operas ever made. Okay. It's like a classic story.
How old was Robert Pattinson when this came out?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
I feel like we're going to be referencing his age a lot.
Yeah, because I think, it's his professional debut. And that would look very different if this was someone's professional debut in 2004 at the ripe old age of 57 compared to 12.
He's born 1986. It was 2004, so he would have been 18 when it came out. Possibly 17 when it was filmed.
Okay.
So this is like Babyface. Our boy's baby-faced.
This is before he was a poster boy.
Yeah.
Pre-poster boy.
Post-it? No, boy. Postcard boy.
Postcard boy. Yeah.
Poster baby.
50 pence postcard boy.
What does that mean? 50 pence?
That's how much you used to pay for a postcard.
We had old-timey money.
And a shilling. Look, we're bringing a lot of cultural angles to this podcast.
Because I think what people are missing is two white millennials' perspectives on Robert Pattinson.
Absolutely. And I think that, the world needs this. There is forget the gap in the ozone layer.
There's a gap in the market.
There's a gap in the market that needs to be addressed.
No one's talking about Robert Pattinson, and we're changing that.
Exactly.
He's not one of the most famous men in the world.
You are welcome.
Yeah, you're all fucking welcome.
And when his career takes a resurgence because of this podcast,
because of this film,
he will thank us. I imagine we'll get name checked in an Oscar speech.
For sure.
That's my goal.
That's you have to have a goal.
Yeah.
Short term, long term, midterm. I'd go make this the midterm goal.
Not even long term. The Oscar speech is midterm.
2020. When's the Oscars? What month is the Oscars?
One of the 12.
So let's say we're aiming for like summer 2025.
That's so soon.
That's my midterm. Long term, 10 years. Short term, tomorrow.
Long term's EGOT.
Yeah.
Long term is I get an EGOT for this podcast. We're going to get a Tony Award for this podcast.
Oh, for sure.
So what are we expecting from The Dragon's Colon?
I'm going to be very honest. This is like nothing I've ever seen. I never went into the Lord of the Rings kind of franchise. It's not my go-to genre. So I'm going in very open-minded. I'm expecting 2004 level special effects, which I'm looking forward to.
TV movie special effects as well.
TV movie.
This is a German made-for-TV film.
Was the director German? Who was German?
Who was the Germans don't exist anymore? Society's progressed past the age of Germany.
Who? Because our Pat's American.
English.
Wait,
what? What? You agreed to do this podcast thinking it was a random American.
No. Do you know what? That is Hollywood is hoodwinking me. How many American accents does he have?
Did you genuinely not know that Robert Pattinson is English?
I knew there was influence. I didn't know if he was half and half. That is my honest.
This is crazy to me.
It's Hollywood.
Babe, that's Hollywood.
Does anyone really know where anyone is from? You think he's English. Plot twist, he's neither.
He's South African.
Yes. He's just done some great vocal work.
Yeah.
Dialect work.
Okay, well, leaving the fact that you didn't know he was... leaving that aside, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I am the exact opposite. I loved that fantasy
Okay.
as a kid. I still do.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm going to watch this and it's going to remind me of all the shitty fantasy films from 2005 that I watched.
This could be your new favourite.
I could watch this and then realize that I've seen it 15 times when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah. You might also see, this could have been the film that like, they could have drawn on this for inspiration for other fantasy films.
That's true.
So you could see some of that influence.
I mean, because it had such a wide release. It wasn't
right?
45 minutes through the dodgiest websites possible to find it.
Did this go into cinemas?
I don't know.
Like, was it a, we're going to go straight to DVD? Or we're going to go...
I mean, it was a German made-for-TV movie. I don't think...
But who was German? Like, what do you mean?
I mean, it was commissioned by a German channel, presumably.
Okay.
I mean, I reckon we'll watch it and we'll see opening credits full of German names.
The whole thing is German. Robert Pattinson is dubbed.
We're only watching half of it today.
Yeah.
We only have so many hours left on this earth. I'm not going to watch a 2-hour and 10-minute German made-for-TV movie starring Robert Pattinson. Not even starring, co-starring Robert Pattinson.
Nothing says, like, I am an in-denial millennial more than we only have so many hours left on this earth.
Are you going to sit there and tell me I'm wrong?
No, we're 30 soon.
People didn't need to know that.
Come on, babe. Accept it. Accept it.
Anyway, so if it is in German, we're fucked.
This podcast is actually going to be a translation podcast.
Brought to you by Duolingo.
Yeah. The creativity in this room is...
It's palpable.
It's palpable.
Electric.
It's phenomenal. It all began with the whiteboard brainstorming, honestly.
Which I guess we'll have to post now, because it's fucking insane.
Oh, yeah.
The names we came up with.
It says, like, unhinged. And it
also says, that's my husband.
That's my husband. Don't touch him. He's my husband.
He doesn't even know I exist.
Okay, are you ready?
Let's do it. So we're going to watch the film, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about it. Shall we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Whilst the fire of the ancient powers faded, a wondrous tale arose that captured the hearts of the people. It told of a blacksmith who slew a mighty dragon and won a legendary treasure, the dragon gold.
Oh no.
Baby's having terrifying dreams. I mean, we're saying baby.
Detail.
He's like...
Oh, he's a child!
12 years later.
12 years later. So maybe our boy is going to be...
Who's creepy has hands with those?
Crusty ass! Oh, someone get this woman to the body shop. Oh, the hair?
Oh, that's our man. That must be Siegfried.
Okay, can someone tell me how they achieved that blowout?
They're watching over us mortals.
But why do they care about us?
Great question.
I ask myself that regularly.
Shooting star.
That's a comet.
That's E.T. That's Robert Pattinson.
I didn't like that noise he made. I didn't like it.
Stop that nonsense, Eric.
Why are you getting your sword out? Did he just wink at him?
Boing.
Oh, the split?
The jump split.
The jump split.
I could never.
No. And I've tried.
Fafnir! Come out! Come out, you worm!
Worm?
Is that what you talk about a gay person? Come out, you worm.
Oh my god, he lost his balance. I'd be so embarrassed. Oh, where is that blood coming
He's
from?
covered in blood. Oh, he's...
Oh, gross! No. Well, no.
Why are you taking
No! Okay, so he slayed the dragon and we're what? 38 minutes in. So what do we do for the rest of the...
Thanks all very well, but I'm the one who risked my life to kill the dragon.
What is his
What
accent?
was that?
Thanks.
I'm the one who risks my life.
That's all very well.
The runestones do not lie.
The runestones don't lie.
It's true. I say it all the time.
Things that don't lie. The runestones,
Runestones.
Shakira's hips, and one of two guards, but the other one always tells lies.
Meanwhile, we ride.
At dawn?
It's like Charlie XCX.
It doesn't matter. Because I love you.
No, you don't. You think you do. Do we know her name?
And I love you.
Ever since I saw you do a jump split.
I have so many thoughts. Do you? How
I
did
have
you
a
find
lot
it?
of thoughts. I have a lot of problems. A lot of anger in me, I think.
I need to go for a run.
I need to work some of this out. I think, let's start with the obvious elephant in the room.
Yes.
Robert Pattinson's in this film for maybe 30 seconds.
And I feel like he thinks, bless his heart and soul, he's so committed to the role. And
I mean, he's 17.
he's so there.
He's so dropped in.
Yes.
I assume. He had maybe 4 lines. Here's also, we need to talk about his hair.
Give him back. He belongs to me.
Is that a boy?
Oh my god, he's got a mullet.
He's got the worst haircut you've ever seen on a lesbian.
Is it a wig?
It has to... There is no world in which I can imagine a 17-year-old Robert Pattinson growing out of his own head a mullet with turf bangs.
See, that was my next question. Was
Yeah.
going to be, what are we naming the hairstyle?
It's...
Because it's kind of got bits of everything.
Is it, like, era appropriate?
No, absolutely not.
They didn't have baby bangs.
Look, I have not, until I moved to Australia,
Yeah.
was not that accustomed to the mullet.
Mhm.
And now I appreciate its significance within certain cultures, right? However, 2004 Germany...
Maybe that's where it all started.
Maybe. I mean, it's ignorant on me to not know the history of the mullet. But are we still calling it a mullet when the front has so much going on?
Because they always say it's like business at the front, party in the back.
Party in the back.
What business is that?
He has no business.
There's no business looking like that.
Style.
Also, he has a bird. He has a pet bird. Let's be clear. The way his character is introduced.
Yeah.
Okay, we've probably started at the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
Baby.
Oh no.
The baby's having terrifying dreams. I mean, we're saying baby.
Detail.
He's like...
Oh, he's a
11.
child.
He's just walking out onto, like, the roof.
Onto the roof with no railings?
It feels... There's so much violence. It feels like he was safer up there.
Yes. Watching from afar.
Also, why did he have to wake himself up? Why did no one go and find him?
And why is he so calm? He's not crying. He's actually got wonder in his eyes. I just think it's very bold to open with this kind of scene.
More with a child who can't act. I would agree. His castle's under siege. His family are being murdered and destroyed, and is like, he wakes up so peacefully. It's like he's got one of those like sun alarm clocks that like gradually wakes you up.
Yes.
He just opens
like the sad lights.
Yeah, like he wakes up. It's beautiful.
In his pristine white
a lovely little nightgown. Looking at the loveliest boy.
Where am I? What's going on?
Wanders out onto the roof. Onto the roof of this castle.
Out of the window.
And it's never really... Does he's like a shooting star?
I don't even know if... I think his pure intrigue is what drives him.
He's such a curious boy. I would not look at that character and think that character is curious about anything. He placidly walks out onto this balcony, sees his balcony, roof.
Also, can I correct myself? I said he climbed out the window. There's no glass. It's just a hole in his...
Just a hole in the wall.
Yeah, literally.
And he just climbs out. He sees his whole family getting right up.
And he loves it. He's like getting closer.
I wouldn't say he loves it, because that would imply that he had any kind of expression. I think they did a good job matching the kid actor to the adult actor, because he also incapable of showing an expression.
Absolutely.
He gets like... His whole family dies. His mum like picks him up and is like, we gotta save him. And so as to like run to the river.
Yeah, and put him on a log by himself.
He's getting baby Moses.
Moses did. Moses.
Modest. The plan, run to the river. Where you gonna go, girl?
Exactly.
Are you a boat?
He's not got his compass. Not a compass. Compass.
Sure.
Not a... Hang on. Why am I having a moment?
I don't know. Perimenopause?
There are two... There's two types of compass. There's one that you draw circles with.
Yep.
And there is a navigational... That is a compass.
A navigational aid, yes.
Okay, good.
She has neither.
She has neither. She ain't drawing circles.
She can't draw a circle and she doesn't know what tree is. Looks like he's having a lovely nap.
He's been through a lot, and yet he's sleeping better than I do in my bed. Look, his hand is filthy. His nightgown, spotless. Yeah.
He just sleeps.
Soundly.
Gets picked up by a random old man. He's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take you.
It's like Pocahontas.
Yeah, like maybe.
I just think... like you said, the similarity between the child actor version of the character and the fully grown adult is that neither of them have reacted to a thing.
Vacant stare, soft, dewy skin, completely hairless.
Yes.
This man is waxed.
He is an absolute poster boy for Laser Clinics Australia.
I think that's actually what it was.
I think that's what he's going for there, because you're not telling me this man is going through, and we'll get into this, going through battles and slaying dragons.
Well, dragon so far.
Singular. And he's getting away completely smooth as a dolphin.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
When does this man have time for hair removal?
Yeah. Contrast to Robert Pattinson, world's rattiest beard.
Mm-hmm.
It is...
Who is meant to be a prince.
It's so confusing, the whole thing, front to back.
And we don't learn that this man is aware that he is...
Because he's like the king.
Yeah.
He's the king. And then that's like a big reveal halfway through. He's like, I am the king of Xanten.
Do you remember the place names?
Xanten, because Sword of Xanten.
How are you spelling that? I'm spelling that with an X.
I'm avoiding if I have to. I think it's with an X.
I'd go Xanteen.
That is correct.
Stop it.
You've won the spelling bee.
No way.
Okay, next challenge, spell nibelungs.
Okay. N.
No, you have to start by saying nibelungs.
Nibelungs. Can you use it in a sentence, please?
This movie is known as Ring of the Nibelungs. It is one of its 15 titles.
15?
I don't know.
Oh. Nibelungs. Nibelungs.
And then to say that you finish, you say nibelungs at the end.
Nibelungs.
That is correct. You've won the spelling bee. Thank you so much. So...
Wow.
The f*** are we saying? He's the king of Xanten.
He's the king of Xanten.
With the sword of Xanten.
I can spell.
The titular sword of Xanten.
Which he made because he's a blacksmith.
Yes. He's a blacksmith who lives by the river, near absolutely no one.
And reacts to nothing.
Who is he blacksmithing for?
No one, because no one lives in the kingdom.
It doesn't. The kingdom, as far as I can tell, consists of one river, one castle, one cave,
Yep.
and then a big old field for armies to fight on.
Yes. There's always a lot of spare land in these kinds of things. Like, they have a battlefield. But again, there was no battle. And then they made out like he was in this big, like, really treacherous battle.
He killed 2 dudes.
There was 2 people. Everybody else was watching on their horses,
It doesn't make sense.
shaking their spears at half effort.
Yeah. Also, when you talk about... So this guy, he says his name is Eric. Turns out it's not, it's Siegfried.
Yeah.
How he discovers this, it's not really clear. He makes eye contact with someone and it's like, that's so Raven. He's like, whoosh. Flashback, these guys killed his family. Apparently in 12 years, he
12 years
has
ago.
not aged at all.
No. Maybe he's got some defining features like the tattoos or a scar on his left cheek.
If that were true, we would see it. Because we are, in fact, watching the film.
No, but like, it's 320p, so... Yes.
Oh my god, I'm Siegfried, I'm the rightful king of Xanten.
That is such a good shout. He does keep having these visions.
There's a lot of eyeball zoom-ins.
Yes! There's a lot of like...
We do it with a crow, we do it with a dragon.
For someone that doesn't react to anything, he realises everything.
Well, I don't... Okay, but were those flashbacks in the script, do you reckon? Or you reckon the director was like, we need something to explain why this man is doing these things?
But I feel like they're still not even explaining it.
No.
I couldn't tell you, unless it were for those obvious lines where he's like, you killed my father. I was like, okay, plot point.
Yeah.
But until then, I don't know this man. I don't know this kingdom. I don't know his motives. I don't know how he even feels about being there in the first place.
Well, he seemed thrilled to have gold.
Yes.
And then a million ghosts showed up and were like, this gold is cursed. He's like,
And he was so arrogant. He was just not listening to them.
no.
And they were like...
Typical man.
Why am I not surprised? Honestly. And they're all lining up on those stairs.
Single file for some reason.
Single file. Didn't approach him in any way.
You never want to see a single file of ghosts.
No. And he was so... And then he had the audacity to put the ring on...
On his wedding finger.
On his wedding finger. And say to them, after they said, this is cursed, you're in a lot of trouble, honey bun. He puts the ring on and says, it looks beautiful.
What it? But to be fair, that was the first time he showed personality.
Yeah.
The only other time...
personality he's shown is arrogance.
Or he can do sick tricks.
Oh, his jump split?
His jump splits.
Are you referring to his jump splits?
Yeah, I'm referring to the fact that he shows up in this... He fucks the Queen of Iceland, which we haven't even... They're a match made in heaven because neither one of them have any facial expressions.
Yes.
They have the world's most...
And they're great at gazing.
They love to gaze. Bad at sex.
Mm.
It's the classic mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Lie next to each other under a blanket.
Gently.
And sort of just awkwardly mouth at each other's faces.
Yeah. And they're in love.
Not one hip movement to save their entire fucking lives.
Nah.
They go to this... they go to the castle. Robert Pattinson, he emerges from the darkness. We're thrilled. We're fucking psyched.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Here he is. That's my boy.
That's why we're here in the first place.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
The reason for the season.
Yeah.
It's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
He says, a bird lands on his arm. on Eric's arm.
Bird.
What a beautiful bird.
The Robert Pattinson walks up and says, what are you doing, boy? Eric / Siegfried comes back with a sick bird of...
Who are you calling a boy,
Eric leans in. Suddenly he's a prankster. He leans into the bird just to get the bird's beat.
He says I'm no common man, but the tamer of fire and the elements.
Like, now he's suddenly got jokes.
Can you imagine if you were confronting someone, you were having a full-on argument,
Which they weren't
at all. There's just like a little bit of conflict.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in an everyday scenario, I don't know, with a friend, a parent, a colleague, and then you just start acting like a random bird is giving you the courage to say, oh, sorry, what was that? This bird says you're wrong.
This bird says you suck.
Like,
this bird says you're a little bitch.
it is the most immature thing I have ever seen. Like, speak for yourself.
He has sex once.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's like...
He's gone from, oh, I'm just a modest blacksmith, to this bird says, cute.
I think that accent was one of the 15 he tried on as well.
The accent. Maybe this is the kind of movie that gets put out and then casting directors are like,
this is all for the reel.
Yeah.
It's all for the reel.
That whole reel is from this movie.
Every scene he's like, well, I haven't got anything in a American Southern, so I'll get a scene of that.
Which we did get that.
But it was American Southern via Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with his whole thing.
And I don't think he did. And I think he just committed to it. And nobody called cut. Everyone was just kind of looking at each other like, did you hear? Yeah, I heard. Yeah. We're just moving on.
Yeah.
We're not acknowledging it.
We spent all our budget on having the dragon breathe fire once. One time.
Once.
And then 15 gallons of dragon blood.
Oh. Where is that blood coming
from? Covered in blood. Oh, he's...
Oh, gross!
Close your mouth, dude.
No. You just created a fountain. Well, no.
Why are you taking... No! Didn't get it... Had to go back for seconds?
No, I think he's pregnant.
What?
Because for what other reason would you crave another lick of dragon's blood? Can we talk about the licking?
He starts with, he stabs the dragon. We've all done it.
Yeah.
Not a euphemism.
No.
And then it's like the blood's pouring on his face. He's like going, rah, rah, rah. Mouth so open. So open.
Like the most emotion he's shown the whole film.
Like suckling from the teat, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's gross. Then you know what he does? He licks that shit up.
He laps it up.
He tastes his finger.
He's like, why haven't I done this sooner?
Licks another finger.
Looks at an insect.
Oh, he's like tripping out. He is tripping out.
I just did not know what was happening. As if the gushing wasn't enough. He's like, no, I need more.
Yeah, like, I know I didn't get a good taste. And then he's like, oh, the blood,
not full
the blood healed my wounds. You didn't know that when you went for the second taste.
So why did you go for the second taste?
Yeah, that was completely accidental.
Mm-mm.
Then he strips off, has a bath.
I think because he's lived in such a sheltered place.
Him and this one old man.
Yeah, and now he's learning that certain things make people feel in certain ways. That ain't it. That is not it.
I mean, maybe there's an argument that he's like such a sheltered, like this is him really experiencing the world for the first time.
Can you
been
imagine?
So sheltered.
Because
it's been him and this old man and their horse, which they put on a boat. I didn't even see, but
you didn't even see the horse on the boat, which also was not strapped in. He was stood, being a very good boy.
That is not a secured load.
He was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Obedient. He's an obedient boy. They were doing their slow gondola.
So slow.
Movements.
So slow.
And the horse was just like this. Where are we going now?
I wouldn't even go so far as to say that the horse is thinking that.
He was just along for the ride.
The horse shares the one brain cell with Eric.
Yeah.
Neither of them had it at the time. They left at the smithy.
Not even his real name.
And that was Siegfried. Not ever established how he knows what his name is.
And also, not established why she was looking for him. And
yeah, Queen of Iceland.
Yeah, and they just had this moment where he's scooping water with his handmade bucket because there's no one else to make buckets for them. And then they lie down and do whatever we're calling that.
They fight first.
They fight.
Why is she staring at this man dipping a bucket?
What does this man's bucket have to offer her?
Oh.
Who's this? Did they erupt from the comet?
That's E.T.
You're the woman from the longship.
You're the man with the bucket.
And you're the man from the smithy.
Literally.
What? Do you know this man?
How do you know that was a smithy? I just saw a man in a bucket and a hut.
Yeah. Can we get a definition for the word smithy? It's also a very niche use of the word.
Is it?
Well,
I mean, what is a non-niche?
Well, after you've just laid and you're laying with someone who you've discovered is the love of your life, you want to be like, oh, you're the guy that I saw at the end of the... Smithy does not come to mind, first of all.
Well, Smithy says a blacksmith's workshop or a forge.
I didn't see no workshop.
I didn't see any work happening whatsoever.
That man has not worked a day in his life.
No. Vanity muscles.
How did he get the title blacksmith?
I mean, he's like, isn't he like a blacksmith's apprentice? The old man's the blacksmith.
Yeah, he's not even a real blacksmith.
But you know what? He's a fucking gymnast.
Oh, yeah.
Like, doing flips, doing that jump split. Someone swings a sword at him, jump split.
Honestly, if you're not dodging attack with a jump split, what are you doing? Really? And then, in the middle of the jump split, your horse runs and you land on the horse.
Yeah. The Cirque du Soleil.
Honestly, it was a show. It was a highlight for me.
Was the jump split?
Was the jump split.
I'm going to go to bed tonight thinking about the jump split.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was very choreographed, and it was, and then it happened again. When they were about to battle, he just like sword work.
Yeah.
That he crafted himself.
Where did he learn that? That old man's not helping him fight.
That old man barely has breath.
Famously, he's on his deathbed and he says, "I'm barely breath."
I have no more traveling left in me. Hardly even breath anymore.
He doesn't look that sick. He just looks like he's lying down.
Oh, yeah. He was working for the both of them.
Yeah.
Just with his eyes.
Eating
solely.
for two, acting for two.
Yeah.
Come on.
100%. And then, after Eric, learns that his father, his adoptive father, is barely breath.
Also, by the way, he's like, "Oh, you still call me father, even though you're like the rightful king."
Yeah.
And this Siegfried's like, "You knew?" And he's like, "I guess." So, why the f*** didn't you tell him then?
Yeah. Why are we just learning now? And after he's learned all of this and learned that his father, who he cares for dearly, is this close to the end.
Barely breath.
Barely breath. He says, "Okay, BRB. I've got to go, I'll be back." And then he uses the words, "be right back." He is back and, oh, shock, father's dead.
Father? Father!
Father!
He literally told you, "I'm barely breath," and you abandoned him. Don't be surprised that he's now dead. And you've burnt him?
Well, he cremated.
I think he set it up. He wanted him to die. He was holding him back. It's all... When we watch part 2, we're going to see that it's actually like a villain origin story.
Yeah, definitely.
And he just never trusted him.
Well, Eric never trusted the old man.
I trust him more than I trust the little forest goblin.
Oh, we haven't even talked about the little forest gremlin.
We haven't even acknowledged.
The ratty old man who lives in the woods.
Yeah, who is great at peering from behind things.
Yeah, like a cartoon character.
Yes.
There's a lot of peering. Long looking, lot of peering.
The only two things I've seen him do are run as if he wants to run on all fours.
But can't. He's embarrassed.
Because he's embarrassed that he's got that
It's like a horse girl who wants to like trot, but it's like, no, there's people around my monsters that can't.
Yeah. He's like, I can't do it, but like the urge is there.
Yeah.
So I've seen him moving like that, and I've seen him just watch from behind a tree, or from behind a curtain, or from behind a stick.
Yeah.
Like, are you there or not? Are you present in this moment? Because
like shit will get off the pot, honestly.
Literally.
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
Make up your
Literally.
mind.
Make a decision. And then when he does talk, he's like...
Just everyone in this movie is constantly hovering either around corners or like over ledges.
Yes.
The two female characters in the keep.
Mm-hmm.
What are their
exactly
names?
The same.
Who's to say?
I'm convinced it's one actress in 2 costumes.
I don't know who they are. I don't know what their relationships are with each other.
Neither.
They're just... All they do is like peer over and look at Siegfried, and then he looks back and they're like, "Oh no, I can't possibly."
He might wink at them.
He did wink.
He winked.
He's
Who
a
did
winker.
he wink at?
I don't know.
He wasn't the women, because that's why we were like, "Oh, not the wink." Was it after he'd spoken to Robert Pattinson?
I think it was.
He'd like just proved a point, and then he winked, and then he gazed.
It's all...
He's got, what's that word? Riz.
That's what we're going with? He's got Riz?
What would you say? How would you describe it?
I would say he's got 3 moves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's looking at things.
Yep.
It's winking at things.
Yeah.
And it's dipping buckets in things.
To be fair, have you ever seen anyone scoop up water better than that man? Yes or no?
How many people have you seen scoop up water?
Exactly.
What is it like in England? Is that how you have to get your water still?
Yes.
From the Thames. We're all very ill.
They filmed this in my hometown.
I was a background extra.
Literally. Speaking of extras.
Oh, the extras,
in the battle scene?
The saddest sword, like, spear shaking you've ever seen, except for their one extra, who they set up that shot, and he saw the barrel of that camera, and he thought to himself, now is the moment.
Now is my time.
He shakes that fucking spear.
He did his research.
Yeah.
He knew the motives of the character. He knew why he was there. And he reacted.
I'm so glad that someone did.
Yes!
It's never clearly established why they're having a battle. They're like burning villages and shit.
We don't know why.
We don't know why.
But even going back to the dragon, right? No one actually explained why we needed to kill this peacefully sleeping dragon.
We saw at the beginning his eye ominously open.
Yes. But then by the end of it, his eye closed really slowly, and I felt bad for him. The eye. Why do I feel sad for the dragon? The way his eye closed like that?
I mean, if anything, is it like the Dark Kingdom or the Dragon Kingdom? Which was it? Because if it's the Dragon Kingdom, he just committed regicide.
And this is what I mean. Like, he was harming no one.
That's true. We didn't see him, like, kill anyone. He just woke up.
He woke up and someone was in his house.
And I feel like this character, out of all the characters, can understand sleeping.
Yeah. More than anyone.
He has started and ended every single scene by waking up and going to sleep. It's like we don't go around killing bears every winter.
No.
They were asleep.
He was doing nothing. If that dragon was causing harm and he was causing stress, like fire-breathing dragon, thatched roofs are in flames.
Yeah.
Understandably, like, look, someone needs to deal with this. I don't know how, but someone needs to deal with this.
It's like public health.
Right.
It's like a public hazard. Yeah.
If we were, recording this now and we saw chaos being wreaked by a dragon.
I'd love the excuse to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why, when he's doing nothing, wrong and he is actually the victim.
Is Siegfried now the Dragon King?
Just because he killed him?
And
because that feels wrong. Justice for the dragon.
Yeah.
Honestly, because
What's her story?
That's what I want to know.
Fafnir. What's Fafnir's story?
Is that the dragon's name?
Yes.
Fafnir?
Fafnir.
I think Fafnir is misunderstood because she is a dragon, right? They don't have the best track history.
No.
And she's like, look, I'm just trying to lay low.
This is a film about prejudice.
Yeah. She's like,
This is actually an allegory for racism. It's one of those great movies that's an allegory for racism and it's all white people.
The whole thing is symbolic.
That's my favorite type of allegory.
Yeah. So she's just trying to lay low. She's like, honestly, if people don't even know I'm here, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, someone comes marching in with a sword that he's just chopped up.
And this is after
a
bunch of people come marching in and they're like trying to kill her and she's like, no, off you go.
Yeah. Made them ghosts.
Yeah, they bring the king back. Like, oh no, the king's dead. It's like, no, the king's alive, which is dragging him through the mud for some reason.
Yes. Oh my god, yes! On a stretcher, but only lifted up the top half of the
Couldn't
stretcher.
spring for wheels.
No.
Let's just, drag the king fully through the mud in front of everyone. How
embarrassing.
It's humiliating.
I would not want it. I'd be like...
And then later when he's healthy, it's like, I wouldn't be showing my face.
No!
I would be giving the crown to Robert Pattinson and saying, I need to go sort some shit out.
I need to go and talk to someone because did you see how many people saw me in that way? It's like, can you imagine if at the end of a night out, your friend dragged you out the club?
Just marched you through everyone you know.
Yeah, and live streamed it. And dragged you out the club by your shoulders with your feet dragging along the floor.
So, let's just say what it is. Horse shit.
Yeah.
Horse shit and piss.
Yeah. And then you're expected to bounce back from that on Monday morning? I think not. Getting back to the... what's her name? Fafnir. She just wanted to lay low. That's how I've interpreted that.
Yeah. I'm reading more into the dragon's motivation than anyone else's motivation.
Yeah, because they gave the most anything.
Yeah, which is impressive.
She gave the most.
She was giving, which is impressive for a character that is fully never actually seen in any sort of direct lighting.
Yeah.
Brown dragon in a brown cave.
In a lowly lit
brown cave.
It's
breathing fire once. All they had budget for.
And also didn't even breathe fire onto the human being that's trying to kill her.
No. A bush.
A bush.
It's a bush.
And that is her way of saying, look, I'm not here to hurt you. She said, look, but this is what I'll do if you carry on.
And also the religious imagery continues, because Moses in the burning bush. There's a weird religious thing going on here.
Yeah, but it's never really, like, explored. It's just the odd side comment. And look, the second half might prove to be... Or it all comes together.
Yeah, a great, fascinating examination of, like, paganism and Christianity.
Yes. It could do that. I'm not hopeful that it will.
Because how do we end? We ended the first half with...
Where's my bird?
Yeah. So the Queen of Iceland is straight chilling in her castle.
Gazing out the window.
Gazing, like, seductively in her bed. Just being like, oh, my love, he's so far from me. And so far from, and I quote, my arms and body.
Yes.
A.
Two separate entities.
Don't know what you think the arms are a part of.
No.
Usually. B. Not after what we saw of that encounter.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking of the man you met on the night the star fell, aren't you? The blacksmith.
I have thought of that man ever since.
Imagine thinking of that man.
Oh, I know.
And so she, I guess...
And was this after he told the bird, like, hey, baby, I'll be back soon and I'm going to bring you so much gold? And she was like, mm-hmm.
Did he talk to a bird for the second time?
No,
he's chatting to the birds and the human beings.
He was chatting to her via the bird's eyeball.
Right, yeah.
And
the bird had that so Raven.
Yes. And she was
That's
like...
a Raven. It was Raven.
Oh my god, stop.
That bird was played by Raven Simonia. That was actually one of her earliest credited roles as well.
Yeah, and that's how
bird.
That's So Raven...
It's a spin-off of this.
It's a spin-off of this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey babe, this is what I've just done. It was ledge. It was... Honestly, if you saw it, you'd be so into me, even more than you already are.
I feel like this is coming from a personal place for you. I feel like you've received messages like that.
Just go into my Insta requests. And it's just... So then anyway, she's like, okay, babe, can't wait. XOXO. He's like, all right, sweet. Dealt with that. Next, she's pining out the window like, where's my bird? Because
one of the nameless female characters gives Homeboy wine that is, and I quote, mixed with spices.
Good wine. Though the spices gave it a strange flavor.
Homeboy just found out what spices are.
He's always gone plain at Nando's.
Will you make it again for me sometime? Only with less cinnamon.
Less
cinnamon? Picky.
Less cinnamon? Are you joking?
It's a nightmare at Starbucks, isn't it?
That is the best line they could come up with.
Forgive me.
My hand slipped. I put too much cinnamon in. God damn it!
And I think what they're trying to imply is there was some sort of like magic, like love potion scenario.
The cinnamon.
But he's such a
Maybe he did the cinnamon challenge and like
he was raised on the side of a river with an old man and a horse.
To do. He was just eating spoonfuls of cinnamon.
He can't be sitting there being like, well, I've been king for like 24 hours and this like wine is fine.
Way too much cinnamon.
But way too much fucking cinnamon.
Also, can we also talk about the fact that he said, the herbs and spices make it taste different.
Is he working for KFC?
He knows.
And B, he doesn't know what spices are.
No. He's had an epiphany, this man. And I'm not surprised. He's lived with his bucket of water and his old man.
He's old man.
And he's got the audacity to say...
To be like, I just found out what cinnamon is.
I want less.
I want less of it.
Do less.
And so...
But then, after he's complained about the herbs and spices, they confess their undying love to one another.
And he says, I don't know why, but I love you. Which could... I don't know why could come before most of the things that people declare in this film.
Yeah.
Like...
I don't know why, but we're battling.
I don't know why, but I'm Robert Pattinson and my brother the king won't let me go into battle.
Yeah.
Let the man do something.
Yeah.
He's just hanging out.
He doesn't, and every time he talks, everyone's like, shut up.
Shut up.
They don't care for his input.
I think they don't like the hair either.
No. I think
that's a choice that character made.
Yeah.
And everyone else in the castle's like, I don't know if we can support this.
I think they all talk shit behind his back, honestly, and he doesn't know.
Probably talking shit with the bird.
Yeah. Via the bird.
Via the bird.
This bird just said that hair is...
Oh, God. I desperately want to see more of the bird.
Yep. Birds have been a consistent theme throughout.
There was chickens.
Part 1. Chickens, crows, ravens.
Probably the same thing.
There was a hawk.
The hawk who gossip, the gossipy little fucking hawk.
What an insult. You gossiping hawk!
And there's also this whole time a dude in black leather with a black goatee and
a metal mask.
And
the metal mask! The metal mask combined with the sleeveless leather.
Oh my god, the metal mask, he has a magic ring, he has a magic mask that can like change.
And then old goblin who said, oh yeah, take this mask, it's gonna help you, later on says, he stole my mask. Messy. Why are you lying?
Messy.
He is a liar.
Messy.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
Yeah, and this whole time there's like some evil dude, related to no one as far as I can tell, doing nothing. I don't know, clearly his plot's significant.
Yeah.
Don't know his name. I don't know the names of anyone. I don't know what Robert Pattinson's character is called.
We didn't even know that Eric's name was not Eric.
I mean, for the reveal for it to be, my name is actually Siegfried, we barely knew your name in the first place.
And also, like, you're not the only Siegfried. Like, if...
You are not the only Siegfried.
Like, if someone turned around and you were like, hey, I'm Siegfried, they'd be like, the king? No.
The magician from Vegas? With the lion?
Right? That's like someone being like, hi, I'm Elizabeth.
The queen?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, I also love that everyone's like, he does just declare, you killed my father, I'm the rightful king of Xanten, blah. And everyone's like, seems legit.
Accepts it. No proof needed.
Is that how that worked?
No proof, no evidence needed. They're like, well, he said it, so it must be true.
Is that...
Let's try it.
Does that still work?
Let's try it. Next time you meet someone new, just confess a title.
Yeah.
And...
I could be a duke.
Right? Who's to question it? It wouldn't benefit them to question it.
No, I'm a duke.
I know.
Because if I'm lying, it's like no skin off their teeth. But if I'm actually a duke, it's like...
It's kind of like reverse manifestation.
So manifest...
That
what?
You're like, you don't necessarily want to be a duke, but you're just saying that you are in case you are.
Oh, in case Like, my mum calls me, she's like, oh, by the way...
You're a duke.
You're like, our family, you're actually technically a duke. I was like, well, thank God.
Because I've been telling everyone.
Thank fucking goodness. I'm so glad that panned out for me. What a relief.
Thank the Lord I haven't been lying for the last 28 years.
Oh my God.
Whew. That is a weight off. What are we expecting for part 2? How is this going to wrap itself up?
Okay, so what I want. This is what I want.
What do you want?
I want what I'm picturing, what I'm manifesting in this film that's already been made and shot.
Yep.
More Robert Pattinson.
Mm-hmm.
He, like, or at the very least, more of his wig. I want less gazing at things.
Mm-hmm. And more doing.
More doing. Mm-hmm. Less gazing, more doing.
Yep.
That's my motto.
Going into 2024.
Yeah, that's a word of the year. Less gazing, more doing. Okay, and I need you to support me in that.
Always.
And then I want any of the female characters to be given a name, and for us to know what that name is.
Yeah, I'd agree.
That's what I want. What I'm expecting is...
Yeah.
None of that. I expect we boot up the second half.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson, nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be found.
Mm-mm. Maybe he'll be in the background. Like, I'm envisioning him, like, clapping for some reason. Cheering because something
appearing
happened.
Wordlessly in a group scene.
Yeah.
A classic for a minor character. Yeah.
I think he'll be clapping. He'll be happy for someone. I'd like to see which love interest Eric is.
Interest is a strong word.
Love.
Object.
Yeah, because he's currently got 2.
Sure.
He's got the Queen, and he's got
the other one.
Herbs and Spices.
Herbs and Spices. The Colonel.
So I'm kind of keen to see if he's going to choose the Queen over... Like, you would, surely.
Well, look, because to be fair, it's heavily implied that he's, like, been tricked magically. He's been hoodwinked.
Hoodwinked.
Magically.
Mm.
But also it's like...
I just can't call it. I don't know how this is going to end. I don't know what the resolution point is going to be.
Yeah, because there's so far...
The dad's dead. The dragon's dead.
It's like, what's the plot?
I don't know.
Like, what's the thread of the plot?
I couldn't tell you.
And to be fair, I don't know if we said this. This was originally like a 2-episode TV miniseries that has been like cut together into the world's longest movie.
Yeah.
So maybe there's details that we're missing.
Yeah.
There's also definitely not.
There is nothing that could be added to this that would make it any more clear.
They cut out 50% of his shirtless scenes.
Mm.
And that's how many are still left in there.
And inject with 50% more Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Preferably.
Yeah. Still saying nothing, just hanging out in group
scenes. I wonder how he feels about this. I think he doesn't acknowledge this. It's not on his CV.
It's on his Wikipedia, though. Can't escape Wikipedia. That's how we found it.
True. So what would you rate part 1 out of 5?
I would say out of 5, I would give it 4 hairless chests.
4 hairless chests out of 5?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like a 3.27 hairless chests.
0.27.
0.27.
Sounds bloody and horrific.
Just like the dragon.
Wow.
See?
Goddamn. So much to think about.
There's so much to think.
You know, that's what they cut out.
And
they cut
also,
out Fafnir's story.
I'm gonna also justify my decimal.
Yeah.
With just the amount of shootings and not shootings.
They don't have guns.
Slaughterings. Stabbings. Inferno. And also, none of that makes sense. So my rating doesn't make sense.
We also haven't even talked about old lady gangrene.
Her hands!
The greenest hands you've ever seen. Her face, fine.
She's spending bank on her skincare routine.
Everyone is.
And she's scrimping on her hands, which is a mistake because your hands tell your age. It's like the one thing you can't get surgery on to make them look like significantly younger.
That's not true, actually.
Really?
I've had hand rejuvenation. I have the hands of a 12-year-old.
Botox on your hands.
Can't pick up a pen.
You're trying to type and they just don't move.
But they look lovely.
But they look youthful.
Yeah, they're actually glued together like a mannequin in one expression, like one gesture.
Oh, yeah.
You can just slot things in.
On that note.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see part 2, to see where it takes us, to see what plot points we uncover.
You're mustering up a lot more enthusiasm than I think I am.
Look,
and I rated it higher.
I'm trying because I'm kind of going on the look. Maybe everything's going to be revealed in part 2.
Maybe
I could drop down to like a 3.14 after part 2.
3.1415.
Yeah.
Pie. Yeah. It's giving pie.
It's giving.
I was thinking that this whole time.
It's giving pie.
When she didn't have that compass to make the circle.
See? Moral of the story, always have a compass.
Moral of the story is maths does matter, kids.
And don't upset someone that is sleeping peacefully, whether it is a child on a log or a dragon in a cave. Just, if we leave them be, no chaos.
Honestly, that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Let them sleep.
Let them sleep.
Let them sleep.
Can you imagine if they just let the boy sleep and let the dragon sleep?
None of that shit would happen.
There'd be no film, but they'd be happy. The dragon would be alive first.
Robert Pattinson would be down a paycheck, though.
True. Maybe he's been sleeping. That's why we've not seen much of him. Maybe the central theme of this entire movie is the importance of sleep.
Wow. It's much to think on.
So much to think on.
So that's going to do it for this week. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast service you use. Leave us a comment, rate us 5 stars. Come back next week where we'll be further exploring the story of Fafnir.
Oh, justice for Fafnir.
Justice for Fafnir. Hashtag justice for Fafnir. Drop
Yep.
it in the comments. Hashtag let them sleep.
Yes.
And hashtag hairless chest, I think. I think those 3 hashtags will really
spread the word.
That'll capture, because it's very clear what we mean.
Yeah. It gives context. It gives about as much context as this movie gave for itself.
Yeah.
So
I think it's safe.
Make sure you spread the word. Share this with everyone you know.
Everyone you know.
Because they need to know. And in part 2, there'll be more hellish chests.
We presume.
We hope.
Yeah.
More birds.
Definitely.
More birds. And more...
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
More Robert Pattinson.
Never forget the reason we are gathered here today is for Robert Pattinson.
Very religious. Anyway, bye!
Bye!